Hey everyone, over the Christmas and New Year sales we managed to pick up on sale a bundle of Strixhaven. Not the best or favourites of sets, if I'm entirely honest with you, but they did have the Mystical Archive, some of the best spells in Magic with new art treatments, one in every booster. So let's see what we're getting. Strixhaven, well, art sheet with the college descriptions on. Nice. You get your usual cardboard spacer box. I have no idea what this is for. I've picked up several over the years just with product. I think I've used one to keep my counters and stuff in, and that's about it. And if you're careful, you can get the exterior box interior with the full wide art piece. Not our jam this time. We do have some nice ones up on the wall, like the Throne of Eldraine, Theros one, and the recent. It's not Ravnica. It's at Zendikar one. So we get a box with all the schools on, which contains an oversized dice. We're swimming in these by now. A land bundle with a promo card. Some really instructionally cards. And our boosters. As for the lands, we get one of each are in foil, which is 2 of each colour. Oh no, sorry, I think there's 2 art styles and we get half foil and half melt. Yeah. So that's 40 lands, 20 foil, 20 melt. And our promo for the set is Archmage Emeritus. A fantastic card in any Instants and Sorceries deck. We've already got the original art of this in an Instants and Sorceries deck, but we have others, so this will definitely find a home. Pack 1. Elemental token. Yeah, these 4/4 dual colour elementals were particular to this set. They didn't get used in many other sets. Spiteful Squad. 2/2 Death Touch for 4, and when it dies you move its counters. It's, you know, okay. Possibly the humans deck. Excavated Wall Defender 04 with a mill on it. Could have its uses. Same colour as the first card. Flyer 3/3, Ward 3 for 5. Not brilliant. Plant Dog 5/4 for 2. Sack a creature or pay 3 to bring it out. Alright, if you can bin a token for it. Grog Befuddler, Frog Wizard. He's flash, jump out, suppose it, instant blocker, slightly curbs some attacks, not brilliant. Arrogant Poet. A 2/1 that you need to pay for the flying for. I can see why this set wasn't fantastic, but this set did have the learn mechanic. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature learn, so you get lesson cards which can be off in your sideboard, and this can bring them into your hand. It's alright for what it is, but it's not great in Commander because you don't get sideboards. Fuming Effigy. Yeah, this had red spirits, which was kind of not usually common. Spirits are often in blue, white, black. This had a whole red, white spirit sub thing. But yeah, you can go with your what's his name? Sort of Conrad stuff. Leyline Invocation. The fractal groups. This was the blue-greens for this set. Lots of these fractal creature tokens that have X counters on them that you can then split and move and stuff. And our last comment is Lesson, which fetches you a basic land. These still can be put in normal decks. It's a bit... It can be put in any deck, which isn't bad. For fetching your land and gaining a little bit of life. And onto the uncommons. Unblockable Serpent. Oh, and a coloured lesson. Didn't see many of these. Destroy guard or target artifact or enchantment. If its mana value is 2 or less, create a pest. Yeah, the pests were from the Wither Bloom, the green-black graveyard interaction life gain stuff. Devouring Tendrils. It's a bite spell that gains you life. That's right. And a rare Conspiracy Theorist. Pay 1 to loop any attacks. And you can exile the cards you discard and cast them from exile. Can be useful. And our very nice looking Mystical Archive card for this pack is Opt. Scry 1, draw a card, instant speed. Lovely. Classic. That'll definitely find a home. Pack 2. This is where we get instead of our token in this part, but these are actually really good. Because there's websites called Infinite Tokens and so on, and they give you blank cards that you can write on with dry erase markers that you can use in place of tokens or copies of something or whatever you need. I find it's just as easy to get one of these, which comes in various booster packs that help you represent double-faced cards if you're at a pre-release and don't have a sleeve, because they've got the dark back and you can have 2 card types here. Or if you just take one of these and put it in a perfect fit sleeve, you can write on that with a dry erase marker, and there you've made your own Infinite Token, or insert other name brand here. Ogre Battleseer. 3/4 for 5 mana with haste. Tap to scry 1. Usable and limited, but not much out there. There's those red-white spirits I mentioned. When one or more cards leave your graveyard, scry 1. Can go well with the other red card we pulled. Cards leaving your graveyard quite often. engineer that. Land card. These were... they're guild gates with an additional effect for 4 mana if you need a sink. Resculpt. Exile's good because you're not getting anything back, but you are giving your opponent 4/4. Not great, but instant speed removal of whatever. Promising Dusk Mage. If I had a counter draw card, but you need to find your own way to put counter on it, Sissy. Combat Professor. Bit overcosted for what it does. First day of class, another card with Learn Tact on. Whenever a creature on the battlefield under you control this turn, put +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste. Great if you're spitting out a load of tokens, but not much else. Mage Joe. Only costs 1 mana if you've cast another instant or sorcery this turn. And a fight spell. Another lesson. Here we've got Fractal Creation. Just the basic X spell and onto our uncommons. Core Wizard. Gains abilities of other creatures you control. Flying, First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, and Trample. We were considering making a Thor equipment deck that could be useful. 2/2 for 2 with Vigilance and Upside. Modal Spell. Fight spell or ward spell, effectively. Terrible. Golden Ratio. Card draw. 3 mana, draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. Rare for the pack. It's tempted by the Auric for each. Oh, the Auric were like some kind of... that's the equivalent in this set, which was like the Harry Potter set. The Auric are like your Death Eaters bad guys. For each opponent, gain control one of their creatures with mana value 3 or less. Well, creature or planeswalker, but there's not too many planeswalkers with a mana value of 3 or less. Sorcery speed only. Fantastic. And we have an additional foil. Uncommon. When you cast a spell that targets this, you can pay 2 and copy it for another target. We're considering making a Golem tribal thing at some point. Could be useful. And our Mystical Archive. Claim the Firstborn. Threat and effect for 1 mana, but only works on value 3 or less. It's not terrible. Good to grab something small, use it, sack it. Or even if you just want to get your storm going, it's 1 mana and you can even target your own stuff. Pack 3. Witherbloom Pests. Green black 1/1, when it dies you gain a life. It's kind of odd and annoying because way back in Magic's history there was a card called Nuisance Engine, which was an artifact creature, and it made pest tokens, which were 0/1 artifact creatures. There are no tokens for pests before this. So, you just need to make your own old 0/1 pest artifact creature tokens. First common. Exile a creature and an instant sorcery card from a graveyard. 6 mana. And learn. 2 2/1 flying gargoyle for 4. Get an instant or sorcery card back, but it goes on top of your library, not into your hand, so you still have to draw it. Exhilarating Elocution, 4 mana. Put 2 counters on a creature, and other creatures get +1/+1 to the end of the turn. Archway Commons. Okay, it's a mana of any colour, but it comes in tapped. And you need to pay a mana to do it. It's colour fixing, but it's not efficient. Pop Quiz. 3 mana, draw a card, learn. Oh, I forgot. If you have a lesson card outside the game, you can discard a card to draw a card. So you can rummage. So it's draw a card, discard a card, draw a card. It's not as bad. Especially when you want to fill your bin with stuff. How do they cripple this card? 4 mana for a 3/3. Pay 1, sack a creature, put a +1/+1 counter creature. Oh, a sack outlet. Unfortunately, it costs mana. And activate only as a sorcery. Oh, they just kicked the knees out of that. Beaming Defiance. +2/+2 and hexproof till end of the turn for 2 mana. It's not great. Pigment Storm. 5 mana with trample for 5. Overcosted. Leyline Invocation, we've seen that. Introduction to Prophecy. Scry 2, draw a card for 3 mana. It's a very blue effect, but overcosted for that. And onto the uncommons. A nice piece of removal. 2 mana, artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. Spell Satchel. 2 mana, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a counter on it. Tap, remove a counter, add a mana. 3, tap, remove 3 counters, draw a card. Useful in your spell slingers. Master Symmetrist. 4/4 reach for 4, passes the vanilla test. And when creatures you control with power equal to the substance attack, they gain trample. Ooh, we have a very nice mythic. Instant speed, Harness Infinity. Instant, 3 black, 3 green, and 1. Exchange your hand and your graveyard and exile this card. We have another card that does this, but yeah, that could be a second effect in our Golgari Grave deck. And for our Mystical Archive, we also get a mythic. Time Warp. 5 mana, take an extra turn. Oh, isn't it glorious? This was a good pickup. Incidentally, we got this box from, I can't remember exactly where, but we only ever buy from 2 places here. And if you're in the UK, I recommend them. Online shops. One is called Chaos Cards, the other one is Magic Madhouse. Now, Chaos Cards is better for good priced recent releases, whereas Magic Madhouse has a better range of older cards for, your Commander Eternal formats. Prismari Art Club card. It's a treasure token. And we dive right in. In fact, at any moment, just after that Harness Infinity and Time Warp, I'm full up on value. We got this for something like $26. Well, £26, but I don't think the exchange rate is too off at the moment, so it should be much more than like $30. Right, okay, back to the comments. Quandrix Pledge Mage. When you cast or copy an instant sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on it. For 3, so not awesome, but Merfolk Spellslingers, who knows. Thrilling Discovery. Pay 2, gain 2, discard 2, draw 3. It's not so bad. Mouldering Karok. Zombie Crocodile. 3/3 trample lifelink. Serpentine Curve. Create a fractal. Put X counters on it, where it's the number of instances sorceries in your graveyard. Poor in the early game, better in the late. We had this one before. Defend the Campus. Oh, what is that card? Yeah, it's a... Well, unfortunately this is 4 mana for an instant. Atom effect for your creatures, or destroy a creature with power 4 or more, but it's overcosted. Twin Scroll Shaman. Dwarf Shaman 1/2 with double strike. For 3 mana. He really did nerf this a bit, didn't he? Field Trip. Search your library for a forest, put it onto the battlefield. That's not so bad, because you can pick up duels and triomes and stuff with it. And then you've got Learn tacked on, so you can then ditch a card to draw a card. Curate. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, depending on the graveyard. So it's Surveil 2. Yeah, I don't know why it just doesn't say Surveil 2, draw a card. Because that's what it is. Nuts. And a lesson card. 3 mana, Pest Summon. Create 2 pests. That's it. And on to the uncommons. Brackish Trudge. Fungus Beast enters tapped. 3 mana for a 4/2. And 2 mana to bring it back from your graveyard to your hand if you gained life this turn. Definite with a bloom card. It's Quandrix, the blue-green we're calling a thing. Return target permanent to its owner hand. Return target permanent from your graveyard to your hand, but for 5 mana at sorcery speed. That's poor. Ingenious Inspiration. 3 damage to any target. Learn for 3 mana. It's not great. And we have a dual-faced rare. Uvilda, Dean of Perfection. Djinn Wizard 2/2 for 3. Tap, exile an instant or sorcery from your hand. Put 3 hone counters on it. Not heard of those much before. It gains at the beginning of your upkeep. It's exiled, remove 1 for it, and when the last is removed from a card, it's exiled. You can cast it. It costs 4 less to cast this way, so it's kind of a suspend. And on the other side, Nasari, Dean of Expression, Efreet Shaman. Oh, these can actually be your commanders. 4/4 for 5, beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until the end of turn, you can cast cards from among the exile cards and spend mana of it as though it were any colour. When you cast a spell from exile, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And what's our mystical archive for this pack? Classic Duress. 1 mana sorcery speed, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land from it, and that player discards it. Useful in sort of, quite often older, tighter formats. Canadian Highlander uses it a lot, that kind of thing. Good to get removal and disruption out of your enemy's hand early. I think we're about halfway. Yep, there's 10 boosters in this, which means each booster in this is technically only about $2.60, and then you get the promo and all the lands free as well. It's pretty good. Got another one of these. Biomathematician. When he enters, create a fractal, put a counter on it for each fractal you control. So at its base, it's a 2/2 with a 1/1. That's not so bad. Prismari Pledge Mage. These ones all seem to have played Magecraft, I think they did. But this one is Defender 3/3 for 2. And when you hit Magecraft, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Square up. Target creature gets base power and toughness 4/4 to the end of turn. This is great for fractals because they start as 0/0s with counters. So you're giving them +4/+4 at instant speed. Unwilling Ingredient. Frog. 1/1 menace for 1. Pay 3 mana, exile it from your graveyard, draw a card and lose a life. Interesting. Study Break. Tap 2 creatures and learn. Get your attacks through. Tome Shredder. Haste. Exile an instant or sorcery, put a counter on it. 2/2 for 3. Reckless Amplimancer. A nice mana sink, 2/2 for 2 with upside, 5 mana, 4 and a green, double its power and toughness till end of turn. Dump a bunch of counters on it, get loads of mana, double it a few times, huge. Vortex Runner. 2 and a blue for 2/3. As long as you have 8 or more lands, it's a 3/3 and can't be blocked. Human Wizard though, otherwise it'd be interesting in rogues. And a Prismari Lesson, create your 4/4 red elemental that we have the counter for, the token for. 5 mana though. Team Pennant. Equip creature has +1/+1 vigilance and trample. If you put it on a token, it only goes 1 to equip, the rest of the time it goes 3 to equip. It's alright if you can get around the 3. Clever Lumimancer. Light up a room. Whenever you cast a copy of a sorcery, it gets +2/+2 till end of turn. 0/1 for 1. Suppose if you kick off a lot of spells, and another equivalent in the same pack. Zephyr Boots gives creature flying. When it deals damage, loot. 1 to cast, 2 to equip, and our rare is Baleful Mastery. You play it for 4 or play it for 2 and your opponent draws a card. Exile creature or planeswalker. That's okay. Shock. Classic. 1 mana, 2 damage, boom. And we get a foil extra in this. Target creature gets -X, where X is 7, minus the number of cards in that controller's hand. So you want to play it on someone who has a big hand. Gets around indestructible, but it can't get better than 7. But it is only 2 and at instant speed. Has its uses, I assume. Oh, sorry, now we're at the halfway point. 5 left. Not best. Letter of Acceptance. Manolith with upside. 3 mana, with a mana of any colour, and you can sack it for 2 and tap to draw a card. Eureka Moment. Draw 2 cards, play an extra land. Costs 4, so nah. When 1 more card leaves your graveyard, scry. Put 2 counters on a creature, it gains lifelink till end of turn. I suppose it's okay for its cost, but sorcery speed's not great. Star Pupil, 1 mana. Star Pupil enters with a counter on it. When it dies, put its counter on another target. It's not too bad. 1/1 for 1 and you keep a 1. Attacking spirits get +1 attack this turn. 2/2 for 2 with upside. Professor of Zoomancy. Bears. When it enters, create a pest. 4/3 for 4 with a 1/1. It's not terrible. Arcane Subtraction. Learn card. -4 attack for creature. Instant speed for 2 mana. It's not brilliant. +2, -2 till end of turn for 1. Destroy small creatures. Pumps out the larger ones. Modal, kind of. Oh. And for our lesson card, we get a rare. Confront the past. X black. Lesson, choose one. Return a Planeswalker card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield, or remove twice X loyalty cards from a Planeswalker an opponent controls. And there we have Liliana, otherwise known as Professor Onyx, I think, in this set, masquerading as a teacher. And we get another lesson card. 3 mana. 1 damage to any target, or destroy target artifact for 3. So you can return past color. 3 red, white, hybrid red, white. Spirit Cleric for 4/2. Flyer. When it enters the battlefield, return instant sorcery or spirit from your graveyard to your hand. It's a bit specific. Lorehold Excavation, red, white, enchantment. Bring in your end step mana card. If it's a land, you gain a life, otherwise it deals a damage to each opponent. 5. Exile creature cards from your graveyard, create a 3/2 red and white spirit. Yeah, that was another sort of set specific token. And our normal rare, Cody Vociferous Codex. Yeah, there are ways to make this card where 3 mana for a 1/4, you can't cast permanents. Legendary Artifact Creature Construct. 4. Tap. Add Wooberg. When you cast your next spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an instant sorcery with lesser mana value. Until the end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put each other card exiled this way on the bottom of your library in random order. So there are a couple of cards that cost no mana, but you normally suspend them and stuff. So you tap this, play a 1 mana card, and then filter through your deck to the 0 mana card. Inevitable Betrayal and stuff like that. So you can keep doing that each turn. And we have our special spell this turn. Technically it's a rare on this, but really it was originally printed as a common. Grape Shot, 1 and a red, deal 1 damage to any target. Storm. Nice art too. Band and Pauper. Pauper's an interesting format. Some people know as Legacy Light, which is cheaper. Now one of these posters, Math Whizzes Quandax, which is a 4/4 element. We don't get any for spirits this turn yet. Needlethorn Drake, 1/1 flyer, death touch for blue-green. Oh, it's a deterrent. Can block anything. Cogwork Assistant, 6 mana for a 4/5 with reach. Put target card from a graveyard at the bottom of its owner's library. We are thinking about doing a Dungeon Keeper deck, which plays from the bottom of its library. This could be useful, isn't it? I was thinking that was the first card we pulled. Another Campus. They're all the same, just with different colours. Your first year. +1/+0 till end of turn whenever you Magecraft. 2/2 for 2 with a tiny upside. It's not brilliant. Dragon's Approach. These are great if you can fill your deck with them, because it can play any number. When you get enough in your bin, you can fetch a dragon and put it onto the battlefield. It's interesting decks, but we don't have enough of them, and because they're these kind of cards, they always go up in price. Our vanilla. 2 green, 2/4 crocodile. Curate again. And our Spectre. Flying 2/3 for 4. 5 and a black, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's alright if you can make infinite mana. Lesson card. Put 2 counters on a target, it gains vigilance for 3 mana. And on to the uncommons. Emergent Sequence. Search for land, put it on the battlefield tapped. Oh, sorry, basic land. The land is also a fractal. Put counters on it for each land you had enter the battlefield this turn. So it's at least a 1/1. Possibly a 2/2 unless you did other landfall effects. And a lesson, Mercurial Transformation. So you can use this, unfortunately at sorcery speed, to turn an enemy's creature into a 1/1 frog, or one of your own into a 4/4 octopus. Deadly Brew. Each player sacks a creature or planeswalker. If you sack one, you can get another thing back to your hand. We have a Witherbloom deck, but I don't think it'll make the cut. Auric Lower Mage. Three for 4. Tap to tutor anything to your graveyard. Good in Reanimator. It's an instant or sorcery counter, but we're not worried about that. And speaking of landfall, there's our Cultivate, 2 and a green. Search for 2 basics, one goes on the battlefield, one goes on your hand. Lovely. Last 3. There's our 3/2 spirit. I don't know if I'd seen that before. That looks great. Sort of possessing a broken statue. That's quite cool. We've seen that before today. Relic Sloth, 3 red white. Vigilant Menace, 4/4. We've seen that today. Combat Professor, 3 and a white for a 2/3 flying bird cleric. Gives a creature +1 attack and vigilance till end of turn. So essentially, it makes itself a 3/3 flying vigilance. We do have a cleric's deck, but I don't know if this will make it, although it is, I think, lacking a little in flyers, so maybe. Enthusiastic Study. Target creature gets 3 +3/+1 and trample. Learn, so you can rummage. There's 3 mana, it's not great. We've seen that before today. Buried Books. Okay, so you can remove an attacking creature or save one of your own. For 5 mana normally, even 3 mana for... Nah, just getting on something. Leech Fanatic, 2 mana 2/2, has lifelink on your turn. And our lesson is make one of those spirits for 3 mana. On to the uncommons. Explosive Welcome. Seven red deals 5 mana to one target, 3 mana to another, and you get 3 red back. It could be interesting in Mythics. Or a Prismari deck, which procs on having high mana costs. Dueling Coach. 3 white for a 2/2. When it enters, got +1/+1 on something, so it's effectively a 3/3. 4 and a white, tap, a +1/+1 counter on each creature with already a counter on it. And speaking of commanders, there's Dina Soulsteeper from one of the commander decks. I think she's in her commander deck, but she's not the commander. And a rare is a land, the Biblioplex. Add a generic or 2 and tap. Look at the top card of your library. It's an instant sorcery, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you don't put it in your hand, you can put it in your graveyard. Activate only if you have exactly 0 or 7 cards in hand. Could be interesting in something. Our Mystical Archive is Negate. Could you target non-creature spell for 2 mana? That's okay for protection. And our extra foil is one we've already seen today. Doubling cards. I do apologise for the creaky chair that we're on. I find that the office or computer chairs you get, the thing that always goes first is the piston on it. This one keeps sort of slowly descending, just like our last one did, and they're not the same brand or anything. Add card. Don't know why they still use those. At least give us a token or something. Seen this before. Blood Researcher, 1 black, green for a 2/2 menace. When you gain life, put a counter on it. And Witherbloom, you're going to gain life a lot. Elemental Masterpiece, 5 blue, red. Create 2 for, elementals, that's 8 power. Or you can pay 2 and discard it to create a treasure. It's not terrible. Another campus, another star pupil. Heated debate. 2 in red, can't be countered, deals 4 damage to creature or planeswalker. Big play. Target creature gets +2/+2, gains reach, and put a counter on. So it's +3/+3 and reach. But one of them, 1+1/+1 stay. It's not terrible. Seen this before. Seen this before. Seen this before. Seen this before. 4 blue, tap 2 creatures, they don't untap next turn, draw 2 cards and discard a card. It's a bit pricey, but it is 2 turns of stun. A 2/1 for 2 with Learn, or Eric. Oh, and these are nice. Accomplished Alchemist. 3 and a green for 2/5, tap for mana of any colour, or tap to add X mana of one colour, where X is the amount of life gained this turn. That can be big. Our Mystical Archive is Putrefy. 3 mana, destroy target artifact or creature. Not seen that art, that's quite nice. And here we go for our last pack. Emblem card, one of the 2 planeswalkers that are big in the story of this place. And they're actually from Eldraine, but they went to school at Strixhaven. I need to check if we've got the planeswalker. I think we've got the double face one, but it's one on one side and one on the other, but I'm not sure. Seen that. New one. Target creature gets +1/+0. When it dies, make a 3/2 spirit this turn. It's not so bad. For 1 mana. Another campus. Pilgrim of the Ages. Fetch planes. You can also bounce it back to your hand to play it again to fetch another planes, but that does cost 6. Now the Dragon's Approach. Seen. Academic Probation, 1 and a white. Choose an online card name. Your opponents can't cast that until my next turn. Or choose an online permanent. Until the next turn it can't attack, block, or activate. As a rare. Secret Rendezvous. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. I've got this in my group hug deck, which is a lot of fun. That is Silver Quill, yeah. Witherbloom Apprentice, Magecraft. The opponent loses a life and you gain a life for each spell. Another land, Access Tunnel. This is our secret passage of this set. And a rare, Retriever Phoenix. 3 and a red for a 2/2 flying haste. When it enters, if you cast it, learn. As long as it's in your graveyard, if you would learn, you may instead retrieve it to the battlefield. It's not bad. And our Mystical Archive for the end is the classic Doomblade. Destroy target non-black creature for 1 and a black. Nice kill card to finish on. Sorry we've been away so long, but we've had a lot of problems. Our recent update will explain everything. Thanks for tuning in. We're happy with our pulls. Lovely little time warp. If you want to see what time warp's like, go back to the start of the video and watch it again. Adios.